This is a Rooster Teeth production.
Hello, everyone. I am Ashley, and welcome to another episode of OT3. I am joined today by my co-host, Miss Steffi Hardy, the queen of wholesome, sweet fan fictions. Say hi, Steffi.
Hello, it's me, Steffi.
And my other co-host, the queen of every other type of fan fiction, Miss Sarah Williams. Say hello, Sarah.
Hi, I am the queen of the stuff that you don't want to be reading. But I'm bored. What else am I supposed to do?
I was really happy when I wrote that out. But before we get into our episode today, which is going to be really fun, I want to shout out one of our commenters. This is from Zucarian, who loved our last episode where we talked to Cecilia Milton, who writes romance novels and was a fan fiction writer. Zakarian says it was so cool to listen and learn about what it takes to get your work out there, and it was super awesome. Check out last week's episode if you want to know more about how fan fiction writers become novelists. Also, if you want to shout out, please leave us a comment or a review wherever you listen to this podcast. It really helps us out so much when you do it, and it really makes it worth it to make these episodes because it is work.
It is.
Speaking of, do you want to get into some housekeeping before we get into the episode?
Sure. What's up?
All right. Well, you guys, we are going to take a little break. Mm-hmm. It's the holidays. And I just realized my mic is really far from him. So we're going to take a few weeks off, and we're going to kind of focus on our regular jobs because we have those. And then we're also, and then in January, we'll come back all new and improved. That being said, we're going to take this time to kind of refresh our show a little bit. So let us know what you like, what you don't like about the show, and what you want to see from us. And that way we can make it the best show that we can. And also, if you've been here, thank you so much for your support. Seriously, we love you so much. We got to do this because of listeners like you. So thank you.
It's true. Thank you. We love you all very much.
Yes. And like Steffi said, this is our last episode of the season, holiday break. And I totally agree with everything she said. Let us know, like, if you have any ideas, what was your favorite episode of this season or any season? Mm-hmm. What did we do well? What bored you? Be more complimentary than not, but it's fine. Oh, we can take it. But let's get into today's episode. In this episode,
open this Gatorade.
Oh my God. Great start, Sarah.
I got it.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's get into the episode.
I forgot. We have a fourth. Mr. Jaron Martinez, who is the king of anything to do technically. He's going to be hanging out with us this episode as well. Say hi, Jaron.
Hello, it's me. I'm Jaron. I'm always here, but, he's in the shadows.
Just lurking, waiting.
Yeah.
With tech support. All right. What's our topic, Ashley? What are we doing?
All right. So today, since it's the last episode of 2021, we wanted to do kind of like a fun wrap-up episode, but not like be boring about it, but like be fun about it. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about some of the stuff we've enjoyed the most. And so the couple questions that we're going to ask is, one, what is the most wholesome, and I am talking sweetest hand holding, wholesome content that you enjoyed this year? And the second is going to be, what is the cringiest thing you have enjoyed this year? And I mean, let's get deep down in there cringy. Let's talk about that stuff that you would never admit to, but you are because of this podcast.
I've admitted a lot to this podcast already.
Yeah. So you said cringy, and it's just like, yeah, I think a lot of the stuff I liked is cringy to begin with. So it's like,
it's personal to you. What do you think is cringy, and what have you enjoyed, even though you're like guilty pleasure and you know it is, and you're like, I'm going to enjoy it anyway. I am reading it on my phone or watching it where no one can see me. If someone came in, you would change the channel. That sort of thing.
Well, I want to start with something that I think we all love in this group, and it's the Love Hypothesis by, what's her name? Allie Hazelwood.
Yes.
I read this during our vacation. I read it pretty much in one day because I could not put it down. And it's a Raylo fan fiction, Kylo Ren, Rey fanfiction that was retooled and published as original fiction, and it's so good. It's so fun to read. I highly recommend it. It was just so delightful, and my favorite part about it is that it takes all the tropes that I hate, put it in the book, turn those tropes upside down, and package it in a very, very cute way that I like. So that's my wholesome one for today.
So me, Sarah, and Steffi, to give you guys a little bit of background on this book, we found out about this book. We've reached out to the author, potentially might be a guest in the future, but we all read the book. But I want to ask Steffi a couple questions about this book. What was your favorite part? What was the most wholesome part of this? Like, why did you like it?
Oh my God. I liked because the whole premise is that it's a fake relationship, and it's so obvious to everyone that the main character is in love with the other main character, Olive, Adam and Olive. And she's just like, oh, he's not really into me. He's just really good at acting. And you're just screaming like, no, he likes you. He obviously is really into you. And it makes me melt inside of how cute it is, and how adorable they are around each other. And like, they're just so well fleshed out as who they are as people. And it really adds to these characters. And I don't know. I don't know what my most wholesome moment is. I think the dumbest is when there is like this big seminar and her friend forces her to sit on Adam's lap. And I'm like, that's so dumb. And I love every moment of this.
Can I say why I think it's the most wholesome and why I loved it so much?
Yeah.
Yes.
The demisexual representation. It was very subtle, but it was very well done. And I really enjoyed the way that they approached the sex scene and stuff like that in the book. I was like, this is great. This is lovely. I love this. This is fun. So
there is one thing in the book, and I don't know if I should spoil it or not, because when I read it, like I had to put it down because I was laughing. It was during the sex scene too. Well, he's like, should I say it?
Say it.
Basically, she writes, oh yeah, and he pops her whole breast in his mouth. And I'm just like looking down at mine, which are not small, and I'm just like trying to I'm at the pool going, huh? Because I was reading this by a pool, by the way. Well,
like if you think about the character it's based off of, itty bitty titty.
Yes, like exactly. Like every time, like I've in my head, I've been calling it Papa Titty in a mouth because of that. Like a tic tac Papa Titty.
Yeah, I've heard that in fan fiction a lot, and every single time I'm like, I don't like that. Like, I don't think I would, like, even if I had smaller boobs, I don't think I would want my entire boob in someone's mouth.
It's pretty impressive, right? Like,
yeah, it's just like, how big is his mouth? It threw me off.
He unhinges his jaws.
I was like, that's the only thing that really threw me out of this book was that one moment. Because yeah, Jaren, exactly. I'm like, like just like unhinged jaw. And I think about this scene since then way too much, where I'm just like, Papa Titty.
There's so many scenes and like in fan fiction and stuff where I'm listening and like it's like, how does that work? It's like, is that possible? It's like, where did their leg go? How are you holding them? Like, what?
Well,
No.
here's another thing that I so in terms of like books and fan fiction, it's always like I love the burn up to the moment. And it takes a really good author to like really sell that moment, because in the middle of it, you're just like, what? She just called that a what? I mean, there's so many ways of saying, the unmentionables. There's just so many euphemisms.
Ashley, I listened to the Neon Gods audiobook, which is free on Spotify legally, not badly published. And they have like a fake British accent, or maybe a real British guy saying it. And the way he pronounces pussy, he goes, pussy. It's like every 2 sentences.
Oh my God, I just had something in my mouth.
And it's just this guy going, I I grabbed her pussy. And I'm just like, shut up. I can't. I was like, this is such a good book and it's being ruined by this guy saying pussy. And I was like, you gotta stop. And I told Kaylee this because like my roommate was reading it too, but she was reading it and I was listening to it. I was like, I'm upset. I'm unsettled. I don't like this. And she goes, Sarah J. Maas is the exact same thing, Sarah. And I go, it's his voice actor. I cannot. So go check that out, guys. Real good.
Entertaining. All right. So I don't know if that was your cringy or your wholesome. Sarah, what is your most wholesome piece of, can be content and of any sort, fan fiction, book, TV show, movie?
I would probably say I don't delve usually into wholesome too much. But there's two things I'm thinking of. One is the cosplay community that I'm taking on TikTok. Seeing those people is really fun and interesting. And like, there's this guy who went viral on TikTok for his dance. And he, like, people always are like, oh, you just look like James Potter. Like, you look exactly how I'd like imagine James Potter looking. And his whole, like, he has two TikToks. One of them is him just dancing in like clothes from the 70s. And he's like doing modern TikTok dances and shit. And he's just such a dweeb, because then you go to his like alt account and he's just making jokes. He's like, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know how this happened to me, but we're here. So that, and then like also seeing all of like the interlacing community of TikTok cosplayers and like seeing how they interact with each other and like the different ways that they help each other out, and like the little like group gets together as they do. That like it's that I would probably say is the most wholesome thing I partake in. Maybe some solid Peter Parker field trip fan fiction, which if you have not delved into it, it is so fun. They're all like G-rated, all just shits and giggles fun. It's basically Peter Parker, before everybody knows he's Spider-Man, his class or his like decathlon team wins a trip to get a tour at Stark Industries. And it's either he's working as an intern, he's adopted by Tony or something or another, and there's always this golden scene of fucking Flash being like, haha, you're not gonna get in, blah blah blah, and then he has his own personal like gold level badge and he gets in and everybody's like and it's every single fic exactly the same. It plays out every single way the exact same way, and I've read probably 50 of them.
Adorable.
Wow, so many.
So it actually reminds me of the TikTok thing. Have you heard of Straw Hat Goofy? Because he's a TikToker I've been following for a while, and he does a lot of Marvel stuff, and he does a lot of like Easter eggs and a lot of great videos on Marvel stuff on TikTok. And he got to be the host of the Spider-Man movie premiere.
Oh.
And he got to interview a bunch of actors, and it's just like, I was so proud of him. Like, I've been watching his TikTok. Yeah, he did it.
He got there.
I've been watching his TikToks for a while now. It like, whenever I finished like a Loki episode, I would go straight to his TikTok right after to see what he had to say and what he pointed out, because he's just like that good.
That's so awesome.
That's very
I love that.
cute.
Sarah, I have one question about these TikTok cosplayers and the community and stuff. Do you have like an example of like one cute thing one cosplayer did for another cosplayer?
Well, it's like seeing like them point to each other usually, especially if like somebody needs a little bit of like promotion. They'd be like, oh, this is like, especially like there's been a lot of times in the last couple of years, I mean forever, but I've seen it where it's just like how some of these TikTok creators who are the stereotypical white nerd be like, hey, whoa, let's take some time and let's represent, like, let's go check out this POC creator. I think they're doing a really great job. And like, they have like, I followed a black cosplayer. I can't think of what her name is, but she has this most beautiful hair. And then she does like these fun cosplays, and she got really big because she was doing Velma from Scooby-Doo. And she was doing thirst traps of it, but like still it was like I was just like, you're great, I'm gonna follow you. And she just had such a bubbly personality, and she also did Raven and stuff like that. And so like that's one way that they really helped each other out. Like I'd always see them be like, oh, you guys should check out this person. And like also the collabs that people did. Like there was a Spider-Man camp a while ago. So a bunch of Spider-Man TikTok cosplayers got together and did a whole, like rented out a cabin and did a bunch of photo shoots together, including one of them, and like some of these guys look incredibly like Tom Holland, one of them in particular. But he recreated the umbrella scene from that lip sync battle. And he's like, I'm doing this for you. But then you see these other, like, yes, he is the person being captured that moment, but all of these other TikTokers are helping him create the scene, like helping with lights, cameras, things like that. And like to see those people like come together and like finding the shared passion and creating something in a friendships like and stuff like that is incredible.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's so sweet. So my wholesome thing is basically I found this while doing research for another episode of OT3, which is kind of my life. One of the episodes we did this year was the isekai anime, and I watched so much fucking isekai anime, and I found one that was really fucking wholesome, and I just think about it sometimes when I want to like have like a really nice chill night. Because it's not, I mean, there's like some rising action and there's a really easy romance. It's not even, it's slow burn, but it doesn't even like keep you in the dark. It's like, it's there it is. But the name of it, like all isekai anime, is long-winded, very, lots of, it tells you exactly what it is. So this one is The Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent.
Ooh.
That is the name of the anime. And I was earlier before you guys got here, I was practicing it and Jaren was like, are you trying to speak Japanese? The Japanese title is Seijo no Maryoku wa Bano desu. So in this, it's about this woman named Se Takanashi, who is a older, what I liked about it is like she was an older like office lady. So she works in an office in Tokyo. She's like in her late 20s, maybe early 30s. And then isekai anime, boom, gets thrown into like another world, right? Just opens the door. There's like a light. She gets flown over there. Then she finds out she's like, surrounded by a bunch of mages. And it is, well, there's two girls, but one is young and pretty. And she's kind of like this older, kind of like, I don't know. She just doesn't look like the magical girl type. So they pick the younger one and they're just like, well, I guess you're here. Do you want like a place to stay? And she's kind of mad about it. So in the end, all she does is she's like, well, that girl's going to go off and do all these adventures and have all this fun. And she's like, y'all guys got a garden? Like, can I go work for like your gardening group and help them? And she just starts like hanging out, having this like real chill life. And it's kind of nice because it's not like that crazy anime, like, right. Oh, suddenly you need to level up. Oh, suddenly you need to do this. She's just over there like hanging out. And then she's like, oh, y'all have magic here? And they're like, yeah. And she's like, let me look at that. And like, it's just so chill. And I just loved it because it was just like such a random, like, I was like, this is nice. Like you watch every episode, you're like, she made some potions today. This was good.
We need more anime like that, where it's
we
like
definitely
not too chaotic, but it's just chill. I mean, there's probably a bunch out there, and we're just unaware of them as like uncultured Americans. But I mean, tell me I'm wrong. I feel like the only animes I ever really hear about are like the ones that kind of blow up.
And
yeah, I can see that.
Well, we get the like. I think a lot of the ones that get like popular on like Twitter and like Reddit and things like that are like the big ones, but there's so much anime out there. I mean, it's just like, it's insane.
Like one of my favorite things that I'm starting to collect the manga. I watched the anime on Netflix and it's The Way of the House Husband. And it's a former Yakuza. Oh my God. It's so freaking adorable. He's a former Yakuza, which for you don't know, it's like a gang member basically. And, he just loves and adores his wife. But, he wants to cook for her. He wants to clean and everything is so dramatic. But, he's just like getting groceries or something. And it's so adorable and so wholesome. And it's literally one of my favorite things right now. So.
Dude, I love it. Oh, another thing about this that I thought was really interesting when I was doing research was, so it came out in 2016 as a light novel, right? Like, talked about light novels before on this show.
Light novels are weird in my brain, but continue.
So light novels are basically a slightly published fan fiction, but doesn't come from, like, actual characters that are already created. It's like, so there's so many light novels. There's like light novels are huge, and then a lot of the time the light novels become anime or become manga or become actual novels. It's interesting, but this one was user generated on a website called Shosetsuka ni Naru, and so there's like apparently it kind of like this user generated story that became a manga and then now is an anime. And
That's amazing.
I think that's fascinating, right? It's just like, I don't know. Jaren, you know about light novels, or do you?
Yeah, so there's like a good amount of like paths, like a lot of like authors can take. And typically what will happen is they'll have like magazines or something, and then like in the middle of this magazine will be like a chapter like for this person's manga or something. And if people like it, then they keep printing it, and then eventually like it'll turn into like, you know, typically like the publication, getting, oh my God, what am I trying to say?
Yeah. Getting published?
Getting published. They'll do like the light novel route. And if people like that, then they'll go in and do the manga route. And then they'll, you know, then it goes further and further and further where, you know, the characters, then they make full fleshed out characters in movies and stuff like that. I think there's only one thing that I can think of that did it backwards. And do y'all know what Supersonico is?
No.
No.
I
I know what Sonic the Hedgehog is.
That's where I went to. I thought it was that.
It sounds super familiar to me.
Supersonico is like this anime girl who wears like headphones, and that's kind of like the thing. Supersonico started off as like a mascot for like a company, and they were just like, because every like Japanese company has to have like a mascot essentially, and so like Supersonico was like the mascot, and then
Like
then it
Duolingo?
got turned into an anime, and then it got turned into manga. So it like did it backwards, essentially. It's very strange. I think Jessica Negri plays the English voice actor.
No.
Wow.
Really?
Nice.
That's awesome.
I
Yeah.
love her.
She's got her shit together cosplay wise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Now let's get to the other part of this question, which was the cringiest thing. And when I say cringy, it's personally cringy and something that you have not admitted to yet before this podcast. And you probably weren't going to unless I asked you on this podcast. Who wants to go first?
You. I say Ashley has to go first. It's her idea.
Ashley first?
All right.
Okay.
All right. I did look some stuff up. I basically went through a lot of my Amazon Kindle list because I was like, it's going to be here. Like, this is where it's going to be. We last episode we did romance novels, which kind of got me thinking about like, because, you know, every girl has to have a few or like 40. And I saw this one that I was like, dude, this is super cringy. And I would never admit to reading it. Like, I'm super glad that it's on my phone and nobody can see me read it, but I enjoyed the fuck out of it. It is by an author, Denali Day, and this is nothing against her. I think it was written very well. It's just the fact of what it is to me.
Okay.
And it's called the Dokiri Brides series. And basically what it is it's a series of a bunch of brothers, and each of the brother has their own book, of course, all different. And they give you like a synopsis. They're like protectors of the world. Like, think like, I don't know, Vikings that can like fly on dragons.
Hot.
Mhm.
Okay.
And basically they have to protect the realm, and so they have to go out and like find their bride of choice to bring back, and they only have boys. And so this is all their stories about them like kidnapping brides and bringing it back, which is bad. But for whatever reason, I have enjoyed the fuck out of this series, and I'm like, is there something wrong with me? I'm like, nah, it's a well-written series, but at the same time, it's like, trust me, the drama of the series is crazy. There's so much drama, and there's so much like just like heartache either which way. Surprisingly, there's not, I'll be real honest, there's no non-con in this at all.
Nice.
Which I think is handled very well, because the way it sounds like there would be.
Yeah.
Good to hear. I love that. Good for them. Because there's some places that even if they doesn't need it, they'll be like, let's just throw it in because of like historical accuracy, and I'm like, want to kick those people.
I want you to know,
Anyways.
Steffi, my sister was like, I'm going to start reading. I know exactly why you're saying that. You're saying that because Outlander. And
Yeah.
I was like, my sister Hannah was like, I'm going to start reading Outlander. And I was like, hey, here's some forewarning. There's some like essay, like just so you're aware. And she's like, oh, that's good to know. And she's like, do you not like it? Have you read it? And I go, no, I haven't read it. My friend Steffi told me. And she goes, oh. And it's like, yeah.
Look, it's one thing to put essay in a story. It's another that's your only plot device every 5 pages. Like I'm like really thinking about like just getting like tabs and seeing how many times she puts it in there. Like I hit like my 10th one by the time I just threw the book because I was done with it.
I mean, like they say historical. I know Game of Thrones is a good reference, but I'm like, you say historical accuracy. Like look at Game of Thrones. I don't feel like it was in that. Oh no, it was never. Was it in there that much?
There was.
Oh, sorry. Never mind. It
I'm
happens
like,
a lot. Never mind. I was thinking
Yeah.
of like I was like, yeah, it didn't happen until Sansa, but I completely forgot about the first season. So ignore me. Ignore me.
I don't think that's a good excuse,
No.
especially if it's your only plot device. But well, that's a discussion for another day.
If you guys want to know what the plot device is that makes it so it's non-con, it's because so the guys, the way that it works is they can steal a bride for a year, but then they have to let her decide if she wants to stay or not.
I actually really kind of like, fuck, I want to read this.
So and so she gets to decide, and obviously she ain't gonna stay there if the guy was an asshole to her.
Mhm.
But you have to understand, like, these guys grew up around dudes and they're just like, they are not about women. And then these guys don't know women at all. And so they're like, it's almost hilarious. They're like kidnapping these brides, and brides are fucking pissed, dude. They're just so mad. They're like, I was doing shit. I have a life. But the way that this world works is they can, for a year, try to get them to stay with them on their mountain somewhere. And the brides that they get, there's like this one like political like red-haired princess, and she is the most angry one. She is like, I gotta fucking go. And then there was another one where he falls in love with like this warrior lady, and she's just like, ha ha, this is funny. Like, I could kill you.
Have you read all of them?
There's actually one I haven't read, and I'm realizing it because I see it now. And it might be on my list next. But it's fun. I mean, and they go through a bunch of different things. It's a lot of drama, but I thought it was well written, but again, cringy in that, like, I don't know if I would have admitted to this had I not made this question.
Mm-hmm.
Now I will turn the tables the turn to
Who's it going to?
Steffi.
All right. I have a new hobby where I go to the bookstore and look for the romance sections for the silliest books I can find.
Have you been reading them?
I have a new book called Waiting for Tom Hanks. And it's about a girl who is really obsessed with rom-coms. And she just wants she wants her own like Sleepless in Seattle moment. And so she's also like, hold up, I haven't finished reading it. I'm like barely just started. So she wants to meet him, and she's like on this film set, and there's this like big shot actor there, but he's a total douchebag.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, sparks start to fly and everything. And yeah, that's my latest one. But yeah, I just go to the bookstore, find a dumb romance, and I grab it because I've been really obsessed with just dumb, silly romances lately. And it just like, the worse the name is, the more likely I'm going to get it.
Wait. So what was this called? Waiting for Tom Hanks?
Waiting for Tom Hanks, because she wants her own Tom Hanks.
Love that.
She wants her own
I also
Sleepless.
want my own Tom Hanks.
She wants her own Sleepless in Seattle, her own You Got Mail.
I'll be real honest. I've never wanted
Great.
I've never wanted my own Tom Hanks. Am I the outlier?
I wanted my own
Yes,
Tom
you
Hanks.
are the outlier.
Yes. I want specifically Tom Hanks from Castaway. Like after, like that's my favorite. Like Tom Hanks from Castaway is probably one of my favorite versions of Tom Hanks.
Why cast? You might as well say from Terminal. Like,
Wait, I lied. Tom Hanks from Terminal. I love Terminal so much. Terminal is such a good movie concept and such a well executed, like, that's a great rom-com. If you have not watched Terminal, go home and watch it.
No, I love Terminal. I'm not saying I don't love Tom Hanks, because I do, in the sense that I would be like, be my best friend, but like, I'm not like, give me a Tom Hanks.
I mean, He was for a lot of people. He started a lot of rom-coms back in the day.
Okay, I will say, Sleepless in Seattle.
No, I agree with that one. I'm not a big fan of Sleepless in Seattle.
I've never seen that one.
It's very like sad single dad whose wife is either, I can't remember if she passed away or she left him, and then the kid gets sad that the dad is sad, and so he calls a radio show to get the dad a date. That is the plot of Sleepless in Seattle.
That's weird. I can't wait to watch it.
They start talking to each other and then like slowly start flirting. All right, Jaren, you had thoughts on Tom Hanks.
Yes, Jaren, please explain to us how Tom Hanks is.
Oh, Tom Hanks he's my favorite actor. I love Tom Hanks. I don't know. I think he's great.
So if Tom Hanks asked you to run away with him right now,
Hanks?
would you run away with him?
Yes, absolutely.
It's fair. It's fair.
No hesitation.
No,
Just yes.
yeah,
Guess who's
absolutely.
getting this book after I'm done reading it?
Jaren.
Yeah.
All right,
Waiting for Tom
Weemsy.
Hanks.
Okay. Cringe. So I have so much. So much I wouldn't admit to, especially to the internet, because the internet already knows too much about me. I will say this, is that this weekend I got drunk. And this is a side story that is on my favorite fic that I will not talk about because that will expose me too much as a human being. I got so drunk and I was sad, so I wrote a comment on the fanfic begging the author to update.
Oh my God.
So not only what is a cringy fic, which you will
very
not
cringy. I will not admit to. No, I will admit to another fic, and I wrote, I know that you are busy writing a million other fics because this author is publishing like so much at all times. And I go, but I want to let you know that I can't stop thinking about this series still and wish more for it daily. I hope that one day you return to this series and that you're having a great holiday. Heart. P.S. I love this story so much, even if you never return to it. I just want you to know.
Oh my God, Sarah. That's actually really sweet.
That's actually really sweet. I have done the same with fics that I want to see finished. Every once in a while, I'll be like, let me just send some love your way out there, please.
Yeah. So that's that. But the fic I was going to say is another one of my comfort fics that I will talk about that also probably may expose me, but Ashley reminded me of it. So this is a fic I read years ago that earlier this year I reread because I was just having, it's like, like my cringe fics are my comfort fics. But it is a fan fiction. It's How to Train Your Dragon. And
oh, we going old school here. That's old school, Sarah. It's like
so
3 years ago, Sarah.
Yeah. No, it was 3 years ago, Sarah. But it is a fan fiction, basically, that the plot of it is that when Astrid finds Hiccup at the beginning of the first movie, and then he goes and introduces him to Toothless, instead of having that nice introduction, Hiccup knocks Astrid out and pretends to die and then runs away with Toothless. And so everybody thinks he's dead and everybody thinks it's Astrid's fault.
Oh,
and lo and behold, it is like 4 years later, like Hiccup's like 18 or 19, maybe. No, he might be in his 20s. But unbeknownst to the village, there is this person, quote unquote, the dragon master who rides around with the dragons, leading the dragon raids on a night fury. And they assume that he is the one who's causing all the destruction, not the dragon nest, if you guys have seen the first How to Train Your Dragon. And so they tried to offer up a virgin sacrifice for him to take to get him to stop, i.e. they give him Astrid. And when he like tries not to accept it because it's still Hiccup being like, the fuck is going on? They don't know that, of course, but Stoic was like, oh, fine, so you want an actual sacrifice, and tries to kill her. And then that's when Hiccup's like, well, fuck, then I'll take her. Takes her to her secret hideaway, and it is a story of the two of them finding like their new beginnings together in the secret village, and like basically in like just as adults figuring out how to save other villages from the dragons and to defeat the dragon queen. And like it's really fun because it's like it's in the future, so Hiccup's already run into his mom, and it addresses like Hiccup like became an alcoholic because he doesn't have any family and he's having to hide from everybody, and it's him and Astrid learning how to like fix that. And it's just like that.
Okay.
It's so
ready?
good. Yeah.
Ready? How to Train Your Dragon, the romance novel.
Yeah. No, dude. I would, if they publish this shit, let me see if I can find it, the name of it. But like, I love that.
That sounds like it could probably
so
be
good.
we're gonna tell that fanfic writer to like change it a little bit and put it out.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
honestly,
real.
yeah. I'm trying to find it because I shared it with Chelsea in a fan fiction channel that we have called
Chelsea
Fanfiction
is
for
a
this.
coworker of ours.
Oh
by
yes,
the way.
Chelsea is one of our coworkers. But I'm trying to find the name of it because it is to this day one of my favorite fan fictions on the entire world, and I recommended it to everyone.
While she's doing that, Ashley, are we going to talk about more things we like? Because I have so many things I want to talk about. Like,
Yeah, well, one of the things that I was going to bring up as kind of like end all question, now that we've talked about wholesome.
It's called
And
Persephone.
cringy. What? We have another episode of OT3 that goes into the 80s Persephone styles. If you want to read that, let's wrap it up, baby.
it's all coming back.
Oh, coming back.
Really though, damn.
Let's throw some Omegaverse in there, and then we.
Call it
There's
a
no
day.
nodding in this fic, just for the record.
Which, if you want to find out about, watch a different episode of OT3 on the Omegaverse.
You want to be educated? We got it.
Okay, but I did have one last question, which is, and I want to word this kind of in a way that you can. It's not like you have to answer it in a certain way. What are you looking forward to consuming content wise in 2022? It doesn't have to be coming out in 2022, but like in the coming year, like what can you see a lot of you doing? Like I know 3 years ago was How to Train Your Dragon, Sarah.
Oh, I've got an answer to this one.
Oh.
Oh, okay. What, Sarah?
Finished? Oh, you want me to go? Well,
Yeah.
basically, I don't know how much I've mentioned this in the podcast, but basically, I've been rereading the Percy Jackson series. So I just finished the book that I've been stuck on for like 3 months, which is Mark of Athena, and I'm now on House of Hades. I have read borderline 0 Percy Jackson fan fiction because I didn't want to spoil the end of the series for myself. So once I finish those books, I cannot wait to consume the Percy Jackson fan fiction. That is like, I am so excited to finish this book series just so I can jump into the fan fiction. So
Sounds like you're more excited for the fan fiction than actually finishing the series.
90% of the reason I finish any series is because I'm like, I need the fan fiction, but I don't want to spoil this thing for myself. Like, that's who I am.
Ashley, you go next this time.
Okay, so this one is kind of sad, but I've already started, and so I know what my 2022 year is going to look like. I'm going to read all the Anne Rice novels.
Do you need
That
Vampire
I
Sister
can.
back?
The Interview with the Vampire Service.
Yes. Vampire Sister's also very good.
So over the weekend, we found out that Anne Rice passed away, and she's one of my favorite authors ever. And I'll be kind of honest, I was kind of depressed to the point where I was like laying on the couch, just staring up at the ceiling. And my husband, Morgan, was like, "You want to go to brunch?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to go to brunch."
Good, Morgan.
And
Good job.
Good job.
And, but you know, she was 80 and she wrote, I think, 36 novels, and then 4 under a pseudonym and then 2 under another name. And so 42 novels in her lifetime, and they're great. So I have already decided. I'm already reading The Vampire Lestat because Sarah has my Interview with the Vampire. It's okay, Sarah. You can give it to me whenever. And I'm just going to go through it because I was like, when was the last time I did this? And it's a great series. I'm excited. I'm super excited. I'm already like super loving it. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do for 2022. Like, fuck it. I'm going to go back to my vampire.
I'll read a couple of those with you. Let me see if I like them, because I've never had anything Anne Rice in my life, so I'm really curious.
You've never watched the movies either?
We've gone through this so many times.
I thought we watched them at Ashley's house that one time.
No, we did not.
You
That
didn't
was
come
not-
to that party.
No.
Right.
All right. So Steffi's going to do it with me. Okay, Steffi, maybe we can start on Interview with the Vampire like in
book club.
January.
Everybody who's listening to this, next time you see an OT3 episode, you better have read the Interview with the Vampire. Myself
Let's do
included.
it. Yeah. Next episode when we come back in
Which
January.
next episode, for those who are wondering, is the 21st of January.
Yes.
21st?
Am I wrong? That's
I
the
don't
number
know.
you gave me during our marketing meeting earlier.
20, so 21st for firsties, 22nd for everybody else. So
There you go.
I know that that's a little complicated sometimes.
Yeah, if you want to get our things early, go to the Rooster Teeth website. But yeah, let's everybody's homework, read Interview with the Vampire so we can discuss it when we come back.
But Steffi, what is your thing that you're looking forward to?
So something happened to me, and I don't know why, because I've never really liked it. I've been obsessed with horror lately.
Ooh.
Yes! Welcome!
Like, so I
Come in
have finished the Magnus Archives, which I highly recommend. It's a wonderful podcast. It's exactly 200 episodes. They're about 30-minute episodes, and I just stormed through them. But the thing is, it's over now, and I've left this hole in me. And I don't really like being scared. I am a coward. I do not like being scared. But it was such a good story that I loved it so much that I wanted more. And I've been searching, and I think I found my next one, and it's called Alice Isn't Dead. And it is about a lady who is looking for her wife, who she thought she was dead, but turns out she's not. And so she becomes a truck driver trying to find her missing wife.
I love the truck driver. Like, wow.
And because like it's a part of the story of why she chose truck driver. You have to listen to find out why. And so all these weird, creepy things start happening to her, like these really spooky mysteries happen to her, and like people are now know she's looking for a wife and trying to stop her, and it's very supernatural and it's very creepy and it's so good, and it's really filling that void of the Magnus Archives left, because that left a massive void. I needed more.
Is it a book or a podcast as well?
Oh, sorry, it's a podcast. And apparently, no, actually, let me go back. It is a book. There's a standalone book of Alice Isn't Dead, if you want to get. It's by the same people who made Welcome to Night Vale.
Oh,
yeah. So they're the ones
with that one for the nerds.
Sorry. But yeah, Magnus Archives, I'm probably going to re-listen to it next year. That's probably going to be my big thing. But Alice Isn't Dead is probably going to be my next big obsession, because I'm already way into it.
All right, Steffi. So you say you're not into horror, but now you are. It just takes one good series, and people are like, "I'm in."
I'm into horror as long as it's horny
and
horror.
Horrors.
Yeah,
Horror.
As long as it's
horny horror horse.
Horny horror horse.
Horny horror.
Is that our title?
Horror.
Horny horror horse.
We're rebranding OT3, everybody. It is now horny horror horse.
Okay. We'll do what the people want.
That being said, I still don't want to go to haunted houses, but I will go to one with Ashley to make up for.
Yeah, the fact that you went for work before you went with us.
You had a better experience. I'm not even better experience of haunted houses than me and Sarah did, and you didn't even go with the haunted houses, but you went to the same ones that we did, but with other people.
It was for work.
Yeah, did you have a good time?
It was very pretty. It was fun.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Anyway, wait. We have one more.
Jaren
Martinez.
Jaren.
Hit us
something
with
that
it.
You said something that I'm looking like forward to.
Yeah, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be coming out.
It could be your goddamn K-pop band, dude.
Oh, don't even start on that. I didn't get tickets to it, dude. It sold out so quick. To give a little bit more context, Twice is doing a world tour. They're coming to Fort Worth next year, and they sold out so quick. And I was like, God damn it.
I'm so sorry.
This podcast needs to make a stand. We need to be so anti-scalper. Like, that's it. That's it.
Right.
This is our vow. I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys suck if you scalp tickets.
I agree.
Just buy them to upsell them.
But also don't ban people buying a mass amount of tickets, because I bought 14 tickets for Spider-Man, and it was absolutely me buying 14 tickets for 14 people. So there's bending to that rules, please.
Yeah.
I guess to so it's like one of those things where y'all read a lot, and I don't. I just have trouble like concentrating. So like typically like I'm more drawn to like graphic novels or stuff like that. So yeah, I bought a bunch of manga that I'm waiting to like get into. So I think that's gonna be my new thing, to try to like at least just read some more, get into more like stories and stuff like that.
Which mangas are you looking at?
The ones that I bought right now is a series called Chainsaw Man.
Ooh.
And a lot of people are like just super stoked for it. It's like one of the few manga where like it's like I can't find volumes 1, 2, or 3 because they are just out of print because they're selling so much.
How do
It's
you
been impossible for me to
consume
find
them online and then buy the others? Or
I've been buying the like actual books. I want to actually like start like I have some already, but I wanted to like actually flesh out a collection of manga.
I want you to know that though you can read the first ones on illegally. Not suggesting it, but
Sarah.
We don't endorse.
that's not
We don't
scalping.
endorse that.
I support my authors.
I buy the shit anyways, but like,
But I mean, yeah, it does exist out there. But
I
good
guess
job,
that's
Jared.
fair. Like I want to buy it. Like,
Yeah.
but you know what? It,
but like
Oh,
if
I
you
can
have
wait.
the third
I'm
book and you
patient.
can't, like, fuck that. I would absolutely, if I was unable to get the first of something, but I plan to buy it, I would absolutely read it illegally online first.
Anyways, with that,
I have no patience.
That being said, it is the end of the year. It is the end of first season, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. We keep on giving our show different seasons.
This is season 3 technically, but
yeah, end of season 3.
Yeah.
end of season 3. We got 3 seasons, yo.
Woo! So yeah, thank you again for being here. Seriously, whatever happens with this show, I'm very happy we at least got to do it. We got to experience it. We got to talk. We got to hang out. Got to share things that we're really into. And so, you know, go out there and just enjoy the things that you like. Don't let people be shitty and make you feel bad for
the
enjoying
tickets
stuff.
for it.
Or
Don't
that.
let them.
I know.
Don't let people scalp the tickets. But, you know, enjoy the media that you like, and it's okay. And all of us have dumb, silly things that we're into, and that's okay. So whatever
That's
it is,
true.
I hope you enjoy it. And let us know what it is, because we're always looking for more stuff to get into.
Yes, if you ever have a good fan fiction, please drop it my way. I love fanfic recs. I will read anything.
I want to know everyone's cringiest shit they read this year. Put it in the comments. Don't be a coward. Don't be a coward.
You can follow us on social media at OT3 Podcast, pretty much everywhere. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. We're there.
I haven't posted a TikTok in a very long time, I'll be honest.
And then,
sorry.
like I said, we will be back in the new year, new and approved, and we really hope to see you there. So, thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
Bye,
All right.
everyone.
See you in the new year. Take care of yourselves. Drink responsibly.
2022, y'all.
Bye.